Hi guys! If I look slightly uncomfortable in this video, it's because I am. I don't normally wear things like this. If you clicked on this video, it's probably because you're either in nursing school, you're thinking about going to nursing school, or you know people who are in nursing school and maybe you want to do it or whatever. I'm gonna tell you everything that I wish that I knew before going to nursing school. And I never had any intentions of making this sort of video, but I have watched probably, no joke, every single video on nursing school on YouTube because I was so scared and I wanted to get information from other people's perspectives. But there was a lot of things after going to school that I now see and I wish I would have known. So I'm gonna give you the tips that people leave out. So to give you a little background, I went to nursing school a little bit later. I'm 23, just ended my first semester. I was in college for psychology at first, and then I didn't like it, and then the Army deployed me and whatever. I'm not even gonna give you any BS, I'm just gonna go right into it. And this might be a kind of short video because I'm just screaming and talking very loud. So the first thing you need to know, you do not have to be a genius to go to nursing school. You don't have to be top of your class. You don't have to be top 20 of your class or even top 50 of your class. You do not have to be naturally smart. So I hear people all the time saying, I want to go to nursing school, but I'm just worried because I have a 2.4 GPA in college and blah, 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 whatever. That does not matter. That doesn't matter. If you really, truly want it bad enough, you will be fine. Because nursing school is not about being naturally smart, it's about discipline. Being disciplined enough to sit down and study, to figure out what way you study best, to pay attention in class, all of these things. It's about disciplining yourself. And a lot of times, I notice, I don't know if everybody does this, but me especially, I'll do things just to say I'm doing it. So for example, I'm studying, but really I'm reading the book. Reading does nothing for me. Or I go to class and I'm listening to the lecture. Meanwhile, I'm zoned out thinking about other things and blah, blah, blah. But I went to the lecture. So whenever I fail the test, I'm gonna say, why? Why did I fail? I went to the lecture. No, you went to the lecture, but you didn't pay attention. Everything you do has to be with meaning and purpose and intention. It's not enough to just say you did it. You have to actually do it and do it with, this sounds corny, but you have to do it with passion. You have to do it like you mean it. Because people who are disciplined will always outshine the people who are naturally smart but don't care. So another way that I try to make things meaningful to me, this sounds kind of messed up, is I think about how bad it's gonna hurt if I fail and what I'm gonna do if I do fail. If you think about that, you'll realize, oh, I need to get my crap together and I need to study and I need to do good because this isn't a joke, this is serious. And I don't say that to scare you at all because you're gonna pass and you're gonna make it in. You just have to know how easy it is to slip up and stop caring for a couple weeks and you have other things going on. You always have to put it first. It doesn't matter what it is. The way you study is also important. Like I was saying earlier about how reading doesn't work for me. You need to find what is efficient for you, how you best absorb information and keep it in your brain. If you sit down and read the book for 2 hours, but reading just doesn't click with you, why are you reading? You're wasting 2 hours. You got nothing out of that. Your brain doesn't subconsciously absorb all of that information. I know sometimes professors say you have to read the book or you'll fail. Or if you don't read the book, then you're gonna miss questions and blah, 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 blah. Well, if I sit down and read the book, I'm gonna waste 3 hours of what I could have been doing efficiently studying. And now I just sat there for 3 hours and got nothing out of it. Do not listen to what anybody says about studying. I hate reading anyway. I take notes on my iPad, so I'll have the PowerPoint pulled up on my computer and a whiteboard in front of me, and I will look at the first 10 slides, really try to absorb that information, and then I'll turn off my laptop, go to the whiteboard, and just brain dump everything that I know about what I just learned, and then I'll check it. This is very helpful too, because sometimes, especially because nursing school is multiple choice questions, we can pull things out of our ass. So if they give you a multiple choice question, you can see those answers and recognize what's the right answer. This way of studying, just brain dumping, causes you to actually think about it and internalize it Basically, you're pulling the information out of your brain. It's already stored in your brain. You don't have any prompts or cues or questions or nothing. You know the information. If you can brain dump it onto a whiteboard, you know it. Not saying that's the best way to study, that's just how I study. And if you have problems studying, you should absolutely try it. Whiteboard was like $11 at Walmart. Get some cute colors and just go ham. Yeah, so don't be scared at all. Because if you care enough to be scared and to be looking up these videos and you clicked on this video, so you're probably a little nervous, you are gonna be fine because you care and you are way smarter than you give yourself credit. And I know that sounds so cliche and like everybody says that, but it's so true. Most of the time we think we're not smart because we aren't doing things the right way. Our brains work differently, so we say we're not smart, but that's not the case at all. There's certain ways that are more efficient for others. So when I go to lecture, I bring my iPad. It's like the 7th generation. It's like the oldest one that still has the Apple Pencil. Whenever I first was thinking about going to nursing school, and the whole reason I bought an iPad was because I saw these girls on TikTok and Pinterest and whatever, and they'd make all these pretty notes in cursive and calligraphy, and it looks so beautiful and aesthetically pleasing. That is not, in my opinion, very realistic. I mean, it could be for some people. For me, it wasn't. What I do is I just go onto GoodNotes and I download the PowerPoint onto the app. Then I just write over top of the PowerPoint that's already there. That way I can pay more attention and listen more efficiently to what is being said and actually absorb the information instead of worrying about copying down every single little thing that she's saying. But you by no means need to get an iPad. Like, that was a little overkill for me. I could have just wrote down notes on a regular notebook, or you could print out the PowerPoints if you want to, or whatever. However, you could type on your computer. A lot of people do that. They'll download the PowerPoint onto their laptop and just type in the notes or add like the little sidebar thing and fill in there, whatever. I made this binder, which again was maybe a little bit overkill, whatever, to keep all of my stuff. So in the top page here, I have the exam schedule. So this basically tells us like when the exams are, what they're gonna be on, how many points they are, or whatever. And then here I have some of the outlines. I kind of stopped doing this at the beginning, but this was just the outline for the first exam. And then over here, what my school does is they give us exam blueprints. So they kind of tell you how many points for each question, what kind of stuff they're going to be asking. It's very broad, but it's still pretty helpful. And then after that, oh, I made this. It was just a little checklist of things to do, but I never used it. After that, I just have all the papers that were given. And this is important because for my school, they take that seriously. So some of our test questions will be on some of these handouts. And like I said, I don't like reading. Yes, I don't like reading the book, but if they give us something short like this, I obviously am going to read it because they said that there's going to be information on it. I'm babbling, but then obviously I don't know if I said this, but they're organized by exam. Here's another blueprint, and then there's some objectives. Oh, yeah, pretty much. And there's more, blah, blah, blah. So you get the point. And that's pretty much all for that. And then in here I have a folder, and this is this is for nursing, like the regular lecture. And then this is where I keep like random papers and also my pharmacology stuff. Because pharmacology is a lot smaller of a class, it doesn't really need a whole binder for itself. So, as much as I say you do not need all this nice fancy stuff to go to nursing school at all, you don't need an iPad, you don't need any of that stuff. You could come with good old-fashioned pen and paper and you will be fine. But one way that I personally get motivated is when I bought my iPad, I was like, oh, this is gonna make my notes be so much easier and blah, blah, blah. If you can afford it, or you are willing to spend the money on something like that, or whatever it may be, that will make your experience better, I think you should definitely do that because it will keep you motivated. This is my bulletin board setup too that I have here. I put this here because I did not do very well in anatomy because it was online. And so I put this here just for reference. Over here I have the locations of the different heart valves and lobes of the lung. If you're not in nursing school yet, you'll learn all about that stuff. And then here I have the schedule, so I never forget. But also I think something like this is important too, just to have somewhere where you can have a lot of reference points, even if you just print out pieces of paper or whatever it may be. So I feel like this was very rambly, and I don't know if I made any sense at all. But the main takeaways that I would hope and pray that you get from this video is to be disciplined, make meaning out of everything you do it with intention, and be efficient. And that's all it is. If you follow those couple steps, then you will literally have no problem, and you're gonna realize how smart you really are. If anybody has anything else to add, go ahead and put it in the comments, so if anybody's seeing this video, they can reference back to it. But that's really all I have to say. So thank you for watching, and good luck on your nursing journey, even though you won't need it. Peace, love, applesauce.